So Sonic Mania.
Yeah. Sure. Video games. Move on.
There we are.
Continue.
Can I say what you told me this morning?
Is that I called up the station and said, I want you to play Sonic Mania with me. Like, no, go ahead.
About Sonic Mania?
Go ahead, say it.
That you turned to me and said Sonic Mania might be a good video game?
Yeah, Sonic Mania, I think is probably a good.
Now I really don't know what's going on
Yeah.
in the world.
What year is it?
Yeah.
They made a really fascinating thing with Sonic Mania, and it's weird that it took this long to get to this point. Considering like the recipe, like what you look at Sonic Mania, they made a new old Sonic game, which you look at it and go, of course, yes, that's what the fans of this have kind of wanted for a long time.
Sure, like 15 years, people have been asking for this.
And they've tried to make that.
Yeah, Sonic 4 was kind of
stuff.
that, and they've like what Sonic Colors had some side-scrolling stuff that was well received for what it was, but kind of a different thing. Like. But there's been this desire to kind of capture the magic of 16-bit Sonic that they have been completely unable or unwilling to do the right way all these years.
So their ultimate solution was to hand it off to somebody external. To the
they
company.
handed it off to the fan community,
to somebody
like,
who
people
could and would do it.
Some people, I want to say that some of the people affiliated with this game were making like Sonic fan games.
Oh yeah, no, that's like literally the backstory to that Christian Whitehead.
Yeah,
guy,
and
who's
they
like,
brought in Christian Whitehead to do like ports of Sonic CD for phones, some other stuff like that before, and this is kind of, him and some other people. Some people worked on like Loof browsers, some other stuff like that, doing art stuff, and bringing it together to make a 16:9 widescreen Sonic game that is like both. It's reverent to the old Sonics in a way that some people might think they don't deserve, but that's okay.
I might be one of those people.
But also, like, they remix and have fun with the material in a way that is very knowing. Like this comes across as a labor of love from people who really love those old Sonic games. Mm-hmm. And it plays well, it controls well, it feels tight. And yeah, I mean, it very directly references old Sonic. Like the game starts out with like Green Hill Zone, like the first level of Sonic.
Same music.
Yeah. Like, presented like and so the whole second zone is the chemical. It's like it's pulling from.
Also, I think same music. Like
so the thing that it does though
kind of remixed
is that like so you'll have these things broken into multiple levels. The first level will kind of. At least this is how it's been so far. Like now I'm in the movie style level, which is kind of a whole new thing. And so that's kind of where it's starting to make more of a departure. But the early game in Sonic Mania is like, okay, the first act of this zone is going to be a little more faithful musically. It's going to kind of adhere to some of the enemies and the styles and stuff that you kind of know. Right. It still is peppering in the stuff that Sonic Mania brings to it, but it feels more like a new old Sonic level.
Like this is exactly for fans who are saying, just make a new Sonic game like the old one, like this first world. Is
and then
like
the
that.
second act of the zone is where the music takes on an additional remix.
Yeah.
And there is more of a departure and a slightly more modernized take on like the Chemical Plant Zone or Green Hill Zone.
It's kind of subtle because now that you mention it, I noticed that without really realizing I was noticing it.
And
like
it's really awesome.
Yeah.
Like seeing, because it almost feels like this before and after. Not that they're just like, they're pulling parts of levels whole cloth from original Sonic, at least in those first couple to two zones. And so you'll see things you recognize very directly. And, even as someone who's not like a huge Sonic fan, like this stuff, I go like, yes, that's how this zone worked. And, oh, wait, hang on. Now they've got the weird fucking zip line from Sonic 3. Oh, they've got the bubble shield. Like you start to see other stuff from other Sonic games kind of dropped in. Even on those first acts in the zone, like they're not necessarily rigid to old Sonic.
Yeah, plus the
default,
default
is smart.
Also, I mean, even the default mode has Tails. Yeah, like in the level with
that's Sonic 2
doing stuff, right?
Yeah,
right. But that's kind of throwing him into the gameplay of Sonic 1,
right? So they're throwing it all together.
Yeah,
and then you fight a boss and get to that second, that second zone or that second act of the zone. And then they play with it even more. Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting to watch these people that, clearly have like a fucking deep reverence for Sonic, like their idea of what it is to play around with that stuff is really neat to see. Like I still think like mechanically Sonic is like a little simple and like it's not, it's like a little dull in spots, I guess. Like that stuff has aged and that sort of stuff. I think that some of that is inherent to it, but it also feels like this is like the best that someone could have done. Like if you line them up and said like can you make me a game now that is like referencing 16-bit Sonic, like this is, at least, I haven't finished the game, so but this is just, the boss fights, the references they throw in there, some of the wild turns it takes for some of those boss fights and stuff, like it is the best that I think that you could hope for, and maybe the game falls apart later. I think my one like really like big criticism of it is that there are too many of those fucking blue ball bonus stages.
Yeah, that's my least favorite thing
like
so far.
Every single checkpoint, it seems like you only need like 30 rings, maybe 20, like a low number of rings when you pass a checkpoint to get into these like Sonic 3 bonus stage things.
Are those from Sonic 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're from Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay.
Like if you took Sonic and Knuckles,
3D.
It's like the globe with the blue balls, and you run around
doing 90-degree turns to pick up.
Like that stuff, I don't think was ever especially fun, and they've tried to enhance it in a way to like make it a little more challenging.
Have you beaten one of those? Or
yeah.
Do you get it? Are those just for Chaos Emeralds? Is that
no?
What do you get?
So
out
the
of
Chaos Emeralds, there are big rings hidden in weird spots that take you to a different.
Yeah, I found one of those. It's
is,
like a race.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I beat that and got the emerald.
I want to say it's almost like a Sonic R sort of thing or something.
Kinda.
But that's kind of neat because it's got this weird old polygonal look to it.
Yeah.
That is like kind of neat to see. Like they didn't just go like, oh, let's take full advantage of these modern systems.
Right.
They're like, no, let's make kind of a busted.
It looks almost like Saturn-like or something
Saturn,
like that. Yeah.
PSX era kind of Sonic. And that's kind of neat to see too. Yeah, but you get coins out of those ball stages and then those coins unlock stuff.
Okay.
Out of game. I think is how that works. If you can get perfects on them, you get a gold one. Otherwise, you get a silver. And they're medals or coins or whatever they are.
Just those collection stuff like artwork, sound, or
one of it is like, you get modes, and like you get the fast run from Sonic CD.
Oh, cool. Okay.
That unlocks.
Yeah.
Which is like a weird
as a gameplay ability.
Yeah,
weird.
Like a hold up and hit, like you hit down to charge the spin, but in Sonic, if you held up, you charged up a regular run.
Sure.
And I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know that I'll ever like spend a lot of time playing as Knuckles because I still think that's like not that fun. And for me, Sonic 3 was the game that kind of took it downhill with the bubble shields and all the stuff. I felt like they just kind of got away from things, but I think that those items are at least like well implemented here. And yeah, the Studiopolis, I think, is the zone I'm on now. It's like the kind of movie themed one but it has bumpers. It's basically like, I don't know if the game has a casino zone later on, but it has bumpers and gadgets and stuff like a casino, like the casino levels did in prior.
Does it have
Sonic
flooding?
Games.
Do you find yourself drowning?
I have been underwater, certainly. I've had, water raise up and had to jump out of it and stuff. And some neat mechanics around like injecting goo into the water to make it so you bounce off the water. Like just some cool, weird stuff along the way. Like, yeah, they play with it in some really cool ways, and it's interesting to see.
Yeah, when you say it's as good as somebody could have done in remaking a Sonic game, like I think that's true, and I think that basically any flaws that I've seen in it are flaws that I think were always in Sonic to begin with. Like it exposes like what was good and bad about Sonic.
Yeah, that's been
such a faithful recreation.
I went back and played like in the hours I was waiting for this to unlock last night. I spent some time actually playing Sonic 2 and was like, oh yeah, this is kind of that. Like it was a pretty seamless transition from playing Sonic 2 to playing Sonic Mania.
Does it feel pretty much? Because in my memory, it certainly feels. I was like, oh yeah, this is exactly how Sonic used to play. Like, I don't know
to me, it does. Yeah, there's
there.
additional things here and there in this game. Kind of like stuff you can do. And
the big thing for me is that I just like playing it now. I feel like I'm being pulled between. Okay, this is a guy who is literally named after something fast. Like the whole idea of this is to run through these levels as fast as you can. But there's stuff everywhere. And like
it's a matter of like if you want to find that stuff or not.
The way you like you slam into a rock, you lose. Like you just come to a halt, and then like he's got such slow momentum building the speed back up. Like it's this constant push pull of like
do the spin dash, man.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
I constantly want to be running to the right, but at the same time, there's stuff everywhere that I don't know.
And plenty of spots in the levels where you need to run to the left.
Yeah.
It's deep.
I'm gonna ask you two things that are paint my enjoyment of this game. Is Big the Cat in it?
Not that I've seen, but I'm going to say probably.
He was never in the Genesis game.
I know,
Yeah,
but he exists now, and ignoring him would be willfully ignorant.
He's the most important part of the Sonic-averse.
Okay.
I don't know if Sprite Big the Cat is something I can...
Ooh, but it's going to be so good when he's in there.
That's true.
Does Shadow have his guns and his motorcycle, or just the motorcycle?
I've not seen Shadow at all.
What
either,
the fuck?
Yeah, that's
I feel like these are leading questions in a way.
No, these are just the two strongest Sonic memories I have, because one of the only Sonic games I ever enjoyed, and granted I was an idiot, was the Shadow the Hedgehog GameCube game.
Yes, Shadow the Hedgehog came out on GameCube.
I was really sick, and I played it in 2 days.
Some might say you still are. I also played the GameCube version of Shadow the Hedgehog relatively recently. I played through.
How's that hold up?
I played through the first level of it while I was sick, and it came to mind like, Shadow the Hedgehog would be funny.
Interesting correlation here. I can't quite put my finger on it.
It's terrible.
Okay,
it's fucking terrible.
Well, I mean, probably.
It's like they made a Sonic game and then added a lot more ways to slow down, and then like teleporters that would let you like warp to earlier parts in the level and shit.
I remember there being a lot of backtracking.
And like all the combat seemed terrible. An amazingly bad game is my original impressions of it from what I remember back then. But then having just played the first level, hey, maybe it gets great later on.
I mean, you were sick. You can't properly judge a video game while you're not at 100% physically and mentally.
That's true. Yeah, everyone knows that.
You have to be like in peak condition to review something. You got to like be kind of. I like to submerge myself in a sensory deprivation tank, just so that way I can kind of internalize all my thoughts perfectly.
Float on your back.
Yeah,
with a VR headset on.
And then every time you die, you do 40 reps.
Have you guys ever wanted to do that sensory deprivation?
Yeah, I would be interested in trying
I've gotten really close, but then I think I'd get like too scared.
Yeah, maybe.
In there.
Is it accessible, or are there like...
There's facilities in the Bay Area.
Yeah, are there really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I went into one of Microsoft's quiet rooms where they were like, to test out, like they were showing it to us as a part of like, hey, we made the Kinect voice recognition way better, and this is the room we had to use to do it. It's a perfectly silent room that all the walls are built to absorb all sound. Like you're standing on a grate, like a very a metal grate, because even below it is more acoustic stuff. They don't want a floor for sound to bounce off. And they also had a fake house built that they, so they could test it in a fake house setting because everyone has a fake house. And they said that some people go crazy in that room because it's too quiet. Like if they are closed in there, they can hear their heartbeat and they become very.
I can see that.
Every noise your body makes becomes way more noticeable. And people eventually kind of freak out. And
that would be a noisy room.
I stood in there for a while, and I could see why some people might lose it. I was like, this is cool, and it made me think about sensory deprivation. We're like, man, what if you go all the way on that? That might be kind of neat.
Does it require water? Is that a key part of the experience? Like you need to be floating?
I think it's not water. Okay. It's.
But I mean, you can't just be sitting on a floor, right?
Yeah.
They consider that sensory
touch is
input.
Okay. You need to kind of be floating in a thing.
You don't want your butt to get sore while you're sitting there the whole time. Yes. And you start thinking about that.
Yeah. But are they completely submerged?
It's more like a saltwater type thing. Isn't
it?
It's
like a really high density water. That's not a thing.
Helps you float.
But yeah, it's like it's kind of it's more goo than water, or like very salt. And you're supposed to like take take a bath before, take a bath after. Some people in my college newspaper did it for a story, and I almost went with them, but I chickened out at the last minute, and I regret it.
So no idea how long Sonic Mania is, or like how weird it gets. I know you've seen it at like E3 events.
The stuff I had seen prior to release is all stuff from the earlier parts of the game.
I wonder if every zone is inspired by stuff from the original games, or if they start getting
the Studiopolis is the thing that is like way more new.
Okay, was that not from one of the latter?
I don't believe
games?
so.
Okay,
okay. But there are like bumpers in it that are very much from older Sonic.
And it's got like a level creation and stuff like that, right?
I think that's the other one.
Yeah, the
Sonic,
you make your own Hedgehog in the other Sonic the Hedgehog game.
I don't know where I got that from.
Yeah. I'm excited to check it out. The most Sonic I've played is when I got the Ultimate Genesis collection and went to go get every trophy in that game, and I had to play a little bit of all the Sonic games.
Yeah.
How was the art on those trophies? Just out of curiosity.
They're
They're real good,
They're
right?
amazing.
Okay, good.
They're fantastic.
Drew would be happy to hear you say that.
Yeah, it's interesting. But also like I think that there are some people that are going to take this like, yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog is back, but also like I don't like they're still making that other polygonal Sonic game that is still one of those.
Yeah.
And I just wonder like now, okay, you did it. Great, awesome. The thing that like that seems like it should have been easy to do, but it was apparently deceptively like incredibly difficult, but someone finally fucking seemed to have nailed it. I don't think you can go back
Kill
to that.
Sonic.
Well, okay, yeah, all right, there you go.
Just end
Kill
it.
Sonic.
Like,
Just
hey, we did it.
yeah, we did it.
We did it.
Do you mean literally put a gun to his head?
Yeah.
Well, probably not a gun, because if he has some rings in him, it just won't do anything.
Two guns, one for the rings. And
Yeah.
then you got a double
You
tap.
need two guns. Yeah.
So
I mean,
are
just phase it
Sonic
out.
super fans going to like absolutely lose their mind on this shit and say, finally?
Sonic super
Some
fans
of
have
them
already
lost
lost
their mind
mind.
years ago. It's not. Yeah, that's yeah. I wonder if some of them will be angry and like, oh, these people finally coming around to Sonic. Like we've loved it all along.
I
who
wonder.
knows? But also, like, do you make a sequel to this? Could you, or is this kind of does this only work once?
I bet.
I don't know.
If it sells well, they'll try doing another.
Yeah,
one.
I could-
Yeah,
yeah.
sure, of course, yeah.
It seems like they've done a good enough job with this and understand
Yeah.
what makes Sonic work well enough that they could totally make an original game in this mold.
I think so. There's enough original stuff in this game that, like, of course, like there's stuff with the music where parts of me wish it sounded a little bit more like the Genesis sound hardware than it does. But
Even stuff like that first Robotnik boss is it still Robotnik? They
retconned it across across the territories
So
to Eggman.
Eggman
so.
everywhere now.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that first big boss where he's in the big robot suit seems like something that probably the Genesis couldn't have handled.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like they're already kind of pushing
yeah.
the limits of what Sonic was.
Definitely. It's not like the game is not designed to like accurately reproduce a Genesis. It's like there's way more frames of animation.
Yeah.
Like some of that stuff looks really good.
Yeah, so they could theoretically go further with that stuff.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
In another game.
Yeah. I just wonder, but also they've done the stunt of like pulling in levels from classic Sonic games and playing with them and stuff. So
Yeah, it would have to be like whole cloth.
yeah,
new
then
material
you're suddenly
now,
making
right?
like an all new thing. Like does that play to a wider audience, or does that just then go back to like, well, if you're a Sonic super fan, then Sonic Mania 2 is for you. But everyone else got what they needed to out of the first one. I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
They did the impossible.
I would like to see more of it. Like I played the first 5 levels or so.
It sounds like you really enjoy the stuff that isn't necessarily just an homage to original Sonic. Like it seems like you like a lot of the stuff that you do to modernize it, which makes me think that maybe this team could go on and make another Sonic game that is kind of more
the boss fights are inventive and stuff in ways that like are referential to how those boss fights always were, but they're doing stuff. It's neat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Yes.